going on.
Thank you so much.
Pay like $1 million.
Shout out TMZ, you up?
Let me check out that rig.
TMZ stands for the Mayweather Zone.
How'd you find me, bro? I got my disguise on.
I love my TMZ family.
Welcome to TMZ Sports. Michael Babcock out today. Lucas Widman tagging in, which means the return of the line, folks. The line is life. Starting this one off with a serious one today, actually, as a domestic dispute has landed a Cleveland Browns rookie in jail. Lucas, this is your team, the Browns. You got the details. What's up?
Right, and this all came out around Saturday night and caught a lot of people by surprise, but the Cleveland Browns' second-round draft pick, a running back that a lot of people expected to replace Nick Chubb after he left for the Houston Texans this offseason, Quinshon Judkins was arrested on a domestic violence-related charge, and we didn't really know anything at the time. What was the details surrounding this incident, but we actually got that information Monday morning. So here is the police report where it states that a woman was traveling with Judkins, and they arrived at the Fort Lauderdale International Airport on July 7th. And when she was at baggage claim and waiting with Judkins, she went to the restroom, came back, and could tell that he was upset over something that he was reading on his phone. And he started to say things like, "I'm so done with you. Oh, wow, I can't believe you," but didn't really say anything until they got their Lamborghini SUV rental car. And once they were in the car, that is when he explained to her what he was reading on his phone. And it was text messages from his family. The woman claims that she tried to defend herself and said that, everything was a misunderstanding. But that's when she claims Judkins punched her with a closed fist on her chin or mouth area, and claims that she had photographic evidence to back her claims, and cops say that they saw bruising in that area. Now, she further went on to say that on their travels, as they continued, they did pull over and make a stop, and she got out of the car and made a call to Judkins' mom, but she did not disclose what happened. But when she did get back in the car and they continued on to their destination, she claims that she sat in the back seat, but Judkins was still upset and was actually in an argument, and he put his hands on her again on other parts of her body, and she said that she was bruised and had photographs of that as well. But the thing is, she said she ultimately decided not to go to cops over this because she felt bad over Judkins' recent success in his career. But after talking to family members and friends, they kind of told her, hey, something needs to be done here. And ultimately, on July 12th, is when she went to police and they spoke with her, and after their initial investigation, they determined that a battery did occur. So when they spoke with Judkins, they booked him and then charged him with misdemeanor battery domestic. So a lot going on for the Cleveland Browns right now, and a lot of question marks surrounding someone who they thought for the majority of this time had a clean record and was a good kid. Obviously not guilty yet of anything, but this is not what you want to hear going into a season with a lot of question marks to begin with.
No, not at all, especially as you're coming in as a rookie, a high draft pick. I mean, a second-round pick obviously shows you what the Cleveland Browns think of you, how you're going to be a pivotal cog in their future at one of the most important positions in all of football. I mean, that's kind of the expectation that's on you right now, right? And we're getting very close to season, so any kind of off-season mishaps, they're carrying a lot more weight now because some of these are going to have implications once the season starts. It's just not an off-season thing. Football aside, this is going to be a problem for Judkins. Of course, right now it's allegations. He in jail, but still, like at the end of the day, he has to be proven guilty in a court of law, and we just aren't there yet. I'm sure he's going to have his side of the story, and we'll see what that looks like, but not a good look whatsoever. I mean, if this girlfriend has bruising all over her, that's obviously going to be an issue. I mean, couples have arguments, right? And sometimes family gets involved, and it can make those situations between couples even more troubling and difficult. Obviously, they had their opinions here that may have influenced Judkins' opinion and certainly his mood somewhat, but obviously that doesn't ever excuse violence and putting your hands on a woman.
Please welcome Kelce. Love it. Let's go.
Get after it. It's hilarious. I hope nobody got that. Go! Yeah! Can't even hit that hole.
What you just saw right there is Travis and Jason Kelce making the absolute best of the American Century Championship golf tournament in Lake Tahoe. And if anyone doesn't know what this is, I'd be surprised, first of all, but this is like the who's who of sports, celebrities, everybody coming together for a weekend of obviously golf, but hanging out, having fun, and those Kelce brothers, once again, did the best that they could with that. And, you know, you even saw there Baker Mayfield was doing a bit of a shotgun contest with the Kelces, and it seems like Baker is still primed and in that party mode that he was back in his college days, but it's all in good fun. And our very own Edward Lewis of TMZ Sports, I mean, he had to make a decision on who he was actually going to follow. There's only one camera and only one Ed Lewis, and the clear answer there was follow the Kelces, because everything that they do is just absolute pure entertainment. And, you know, despite Taylor Swift not being there, they still showed they have plenty of star power and a huge crowd following them. But, you know, whether it was on the golf course or at the casino, they were definitely testing their luck this weekend, because they were also spotted leaving a casino in Nevada around 2 a.m. on Sunday. Now, it's unclear what exactly their luck was there, but, you know, they were casual, having a good time, and possibly Travis was sending a text to Taylor, who knows, saying, hey, I'm going to have to borrow a few bucks. After all, you are a billionaire. But long story short, an amazing weekend, and those Kelces lived it up to the fullest.
That's how it's done. That's what I like to see out of my Kelce brothers, Lucas. I mean, it's been interesting. I almost forgot that Travis parties whatsoever. I mean, you know, he's been with T Swift. We've been covering him all the time, every single week, about, you know, what's going on with their relationship, where they've been going, but we haven't been talking about Travis throwing down at a party. I used to party with Travis pretty frequently, Lucas. Every time I saw him, actually, 100% of the time I saw him, it was at a party of some kind, actually. So now seeing him get back to his roots, I like it. He's not getting crazy. He's not doing anything scandalous. He's having fun with a brother, other athletes, playing a different sport, a little bit of golf, chugging some beers on the course, just, you know, making sure he's still got it. You know, I can speak to this firsthand as a married man. Now, sometimes you got to remind yourself that you still have the ability to party, even though you're in a relationship now and you can't go out there acting foolish anymore. But you got to know that you can still chug a beer, maybe break dance a little bit, all these things. So I like the Kelces here sharpening his skills. Jason, obviously, been in a relationship for a long time. He never stopped partying. He's always doing something crazy. I mean, if you get that guy to wear a shirt, I mean, I'd say that's about as up class as it gets here right now. But you love to see it. Fun guys, keep it going. Let the good times roll. Coming up next on TMZ Sports, check out our viral interview with Randy Moss and his wild comments. Could Justin Jefferson enter the GOAT discussion? Find out next on TMZ Sports. Welcome back to TMZ Sports, everybody, where the line has reunited. Mojo Muhtadi and Lucas Whitman. Guys, we sat down with the superstar himself on Friday, Mr. Randy Moss. It's an interview that just absolutely everybody has been talking about, particularly his comments on Justin Jefferson. Take a look at this clip right here.
Is he on pace to be the best wide receiver in Vikings history at one point? I mean, what are the thoughts on Justin Jefferson and just what he's been able to do on that football field in just a couple of years?
Well, you know, first of all, big fan of Justin's, you know, and the reason why, because I've always been a fan of a complete football player where you can score from anywhere on the field, and Justin brings that to the table. I think when you look at the overall picture of how they changed the game, you know, you done added a game, you done take the less runs out the game, so you're throwing the ball. For him to go down as the greatest, Viking and arguably the greatest wide receiver to ever do it, I think I need to see more of Justin getting in that box because I think I heard Chris Carter talking the other day about somebody calling him underrated, but he's fourth all time at getting in that end zone. So I think at our position is not about the yards. The yards is what gets you the likes and the hearts and all of that. But if you want to really be legendary, this is speaking for all wide receivers, not just Justin Jefferson. You got to find ways to get in that end zone and bring the fans out of the stands, up out of their seats. So, but to answer your question, Michael, I think Justin Jefferson is on pace to be arguably the greatest ever and definitely the greatest Viking to ever do it.
That's amazing stuff coming from a legend like Randy Moss. And there's a few things to, dissect here. One is I wish the NBA would take note of this because usually when you talk about guys from different generations on the current NBA and things like that, they sound like haters. But here's Randy Moss, and yeah, he has a little bit of constructive criticism, but I think that's coming from a place of love, being like, hey, here's where he can improve and really take his game to the next level. And then he ends it with saying, I think he could be the greatest of all time. And coming from a guy like Randy, who is like universally loved to this day, everyone has nothing but praise for him. I think that's got to be music to Justin Jefferson's ears. And there's so much more from this interview with Babcock. He also opened up on his very own health update and returning to TV this season. So a lot of great stuff from Randy Moss here, but that Justin Jefferson soundbite, I mean, even the NFL picked it up. Like, that is such an awesome thing for someone who's entering, I believe, his sixth or seventh year in the NFL. Just, that's got to be filling his heart entirely to hear that from Randy Moss.
Yeah, guys, I mean, this was a big-time interview, so if you want to see the whole thing, definitely go to the TMZ Sports website and check it out. But you said, I mean, high praise from a guy, coming like Randy Moss. I mean, Randy Moss, one of the greatest of all times. I mean, shoot, you got Moss. That was the saying, he kind of transcended the position and, was just a fan favorite for years. Like you said, everybody likes him. For him to be hyping up Justin Jefferson like this, I mean, that just speaks volumes. I love what he said here. It's about getting in the end zone. It's not just racking up stats, putting up yards that don't always mean anything, maybe piling on stats in garbage time. You got to get in the end zone to make a difference. And if you're talking about a guy that's fourth all time who still has so much left to go, I mean, that's something to point out. I mean, if you're talking about a guy who arguably has a chance to become the greatest of all time, and I don't want to say he's brand new in his career, but he could easily go double what he's done so far. More years to come, potentially even a decade left. Who knows? That might be a little bit much, but still, I mean, plenty of time to rack up those stats, to get in the end zone, like Randy's saying, and really, really carve out your name. Plus, as he starts to knock down all of these different records and those stats start to accrue, it's going to really be hard to ignore him and staying dominant this long. Obviously, this is a player that's showing no sign of slowing down whatsoever. So, like he said, could be in the GOAT discussion very quickly. Coming up next on TMZ Sports, we sit down with Dustin Poirier ahead of his final UFC fight. Hear his emotional comments next on TMZ Sports.
On the TMZ Celebrity Tour, we've seen huge stars like Kevin Hart, Rihanna, Ben Affleck, The Rock, Mark Wahlberg, Lizzo, Lady Gaga, Ryan Seacrest, and Jamie Foxx. Buses depart daily from the Hard Rock Cafe in Hollywood, so head to TMZTour.com and book your tickets for the TMZ Celebrity Tour.
Welcome back to TMZ Sports, where the line has reunited Mojo Muhtadi and Lucas Widman. Lucas, it is officially the end of an era. This weekend, UFC 318, Dustin Poirier, Max Holloway for the trilogy, taking place in his hometown of New Orleans for the BMF title and it is Dustin Poirier's farewell fight. This is going to be it for him. It is going to be a tremendous fight. Two guys that like to scrap, that like to bleed, and this is going to be for all the marbles when you're talking about a retirement fight. Lucas, we sat down with Dustin Poirier ahead of the big one, his last one. Check out what he had to say.
Thank you so much. It's been a crazy roller coaster ride from my side, but I've always gave it my all, and man, I just really appreciate it. And now that it's getting closer and closer to fight night, more messages and texts and emails, things are starting to come in where people are kind of like letting me know that was a inspiration or a light in their life throughout my career, and I feel like me and my fans have a different connection than some other fighters, because I came into the sport, not that other fighters haven't, but I came into the sport so young and had that documentary Fightville done. And so they've kind of been following my story from an early age, and they got to watch this whole thing play out. So I appreciate everybody.
It's nice to see Poirier in this kind of vibe, in this mood going into this, because I'm sure it can be a roller coaster of emotions. Some people, when they say this is my last fight, you don't necessarily know if they're telling the truth or if they believe it themselves, but he seems at peace with this no matter what happens. And, this is an opponent that he has faced 2 times before and has gotten his hand raised at the end of both of those fights. It would be so poetic for him to go out on top in his hometown, or about 2 hours away from where he grew up, against a guy that he knows very well in Max Holloway, who is also well respected within the sport. I don't know. It's so bittersweet. Poirier, ever since I became a fan of UFC, has always been around, has been one of those guys who always puts on great fights and is so fun to watch and to support. And to see him walk away like this is going to be tough, but I think he's doing it on his own terms. And I think ultimately, deep down, he's very satisfied with his decision. And, we'll see what happens when he goes for that BMF belt.
I mean, Lucas, can you even think of a better send-off? I mean, this is 100% legitimately a hero's send-off. First of all, he's getting a fight for the BMF title, right? Not your traditional championship, but still a really fun one that the fans have come to love. It's always with people that deserve to fight for that really put on a good show and really throw down, and that the fans love and want to see a fight like this. He's going back home. The event is in New Orleans. That's not always an easy thing to line up, even if you wanted to make sure that your favorite fighters are going back home here and there. It's very difficult to land this thing from the start. You're getting to fight Max Holloway, a guy that you've already beaten twice. Maybe the odds say that he's going to make it the trifecta, beat him again, in which case he gets to finish his career on his terms with a victory at home for that BMF title. I mean, you can't think of a better way to go out. And that's just got to be a huge thank you for a body of work from Dana White, right? I mean, if you're Dana, you're the promoter, you're putting on all these events during the course of your career. Guys are going to get injured. Other people are going to have to step in. They're going to have to put their reputation, their names, their bodies on the line in short notice. There's going to be title matches, where guys are going to have to take fights that aren't smart for their careers, fights that they don't want to take. I mean, Dustin Poirier has always been one of those guys that will dive right in to one of these situations and not even think twice about it. And as a promoter for Dana, he has to appreciate that so much. So Dustin has to mean the world to him for his career. And I mean, what better way to show that by giving him this opportunity here. Coming up next on TMZ Sports, Christian McCaffrey and Olivia Culpo have a baby. Find out the gender next on TMZ Sports.
Buckle up, party people, because the TMZ After Dark Tour has hit Hollywood. Get ready for a 2-hour rager on wheels with the DJ dropping beats as we hit Sunset and Hollywood Boulevard, baby. We see the hottest restaurants, sickest clubs, and stop at banging bars along the way. The festivities kick off every weekend from the Hard Rock Cafe at 7:30 p.m. So head to TMZTour.com to book your tickets for the TMZ After Dark Tour. It's gonna be epic.
Welcome back to TMZ Sports, where the line hath returned. Mojo Rowley and Lucas Widman. Lucas, we love love, so it's time for one of our favorite segments that we love called We Love It. But Lucas, who do we love?
This is going to go out to maybe one of the biggest power couples in sports. We have Christian McCaffrey and Olivia Culpo. Congratulations are in order because Olivia just gave birth to their very first child, and it's a daughter by the name of Colette Annalise McCaffrey. Now, if you've been following this pregnancy, you knew that they didn't want to know the gender, so therefore the public didn't know either. So when the baby was born over the weekend, it was all a big surprise to everybody, but adorable pictures of the entire process, and Christian was right there by her side. And, now we know, after all this time and speculation, people were thinking just by looking at the baby bump and things like that. But yeah, welcome to the world, Colette. Your parents are beautiful, and so we're sure you're going to have an amazing life.
Colette McCaffrey, you gotta love the ring of it. Congrats to both of these people. Obviously, we know this is going to be a crazy talented baby. Love that they didn't do a gender reveal. I also did not do a gender reveal. Grace and I waited until birth to see what the good Lord gave us, and we couldn't have been more grateful. Huge congrats to the whole family. Colette McCaffrey. That'll do it for us today on TMZ Sports, ending the show in a great way. We love it. We love love. We love the line. The line is life. We'll see you tomorrow where it'll be the best show since today.
I'm a lawyer.